Hello, welcome back to Only Pistols. Today we're having a look at a Baikal 46M. This is a single stroke pneumatic 177 target pistol. Let's start by looking at the markings on it. So on this side you've got the script for Baikal, which is a registered trademark, made in Russia, the F in a pentagram, HWG-DE, and that's the importer's mark. MP46M, and that's mechanical plant for the production site and 46M for the model, and then the serial number. On this side, caliber 4.5 177, and the only other marking is right up here on the top of the cylinder. And see if I can get it to show some of it. So underneath the barrel there it says 230, and I think that relates to the length of the compression cylinder, which is longer than the original 46, so hence the M. So I think that's what that refers to. The rear sight, a very good rear sight on this pistol, adjustable for windage and elevation, and they're clearly marked on the adjusters themselves. They're click adjustable, and yeah, a really precise, nice rear sight unit. The sight blades themselves are interchangeable, and this one's set on the widest setting gap that you've got, and you simply undo these screws to take these off and change them round. And the other thing about the rear sight, if I can just get it to focus on it, is that it's actually got a knife edge to it. So that just means you get a really good clean sight view when you're using them. So as you can see there, that's a really crisp sight line. So a very good rear sight. Foresight is a simple steel blade in the muzzle unit there, in the muzzle block, and that's very much like the fine work barrow, so you get an interchangeable front sight, and you get 2 or 3 supplied with the pistol. To change them, you just undo that screw on the front and then lift it out. While we're here, the muzzle, as you can see, is just recessed back to the crowning, so that's just there to protect it, but it is just a rifled steel barrel. So the construction: rifled steel barrel, steel for the compression cylinder, and then you've got aluminium, cast iron or cast steel or machine steel for the front sight holder, cast aluminium for the barrel support, and then the action itself is cast aluminium. The cocking lever is steel, and yeah, that's what the construction is. There's a very limited amount of plastic parts on these. It's mainly steel and aluminium. The trigger is adjustable for pretty much everything as you would expect on a 10-meter pistol, and if I can just get the light onto it. So the screw at the front here, this adjusts the free play on the first stage, so just how much free play you've got. And then you've got the first and second stage weights adjustments for where the first and second stage end. And then this screw here, if I can get it to focus on it, so this screw here adjusts this block up and down, and that tensions the spring behind it, and that's what actually gives you the adjustment on the trigger weight itself. So just, you can't really see the spring move, but that's that block moving up and down is what adjusts the weight, very much like the system on the Walther LPs. The grip on this one is a one-piece laminate unit with an adjustable palm shelf, and this is an aftermarket item along with the cocking aid there, and that's come from Air Venturi, but it's still Russian made, so although it was an aftermarket, turned up, the bag it was in says made in Russia, so it's come from the same place, but just a later unit. Very, very distinctive. So operating it, it's a single stroke pneumatic, so it can't go much simpler. It's a bicycle pump basically. So simply pull the lever down, and it's held in place by this little spring catch here, and all that does is just hook up into the opening slot in the compression cylinder. So with that pulled forwards, you just swing the lever through and try and get it all in. It's a very long lever, it gives you a very good mechanical advantage, and as you get to the end of the throw, first bit it does is release the loading gate, and the second last bit is it actually lifts that up, cocks the hammer and sets the trigger. So with that now set, all you have to do then is just pull that back through until it locates, and then you just add a pellet into the breech, and as you can see, that breech is recessed so that when you push the pellet in, which we'll do, it's a nice wide opening on there to get the pellet into, so plenty of room. Just seat the pellet home, and as you can see, that's now well seated and flush, so it's not going to get caught when you bring the breech down. So then closing it, pull the breech back down, and this transfer port here has got a seal in the bottom and a seal in the face. So the air is literally coming in the bottom and going out, so it's going through 90 degrees. But the way that works is as you pull that back over, you can see it's now sitting in location to both places. And as you lock that in, that's just seating that close against the valve work coming out of the action and against the breech. So now to fire it, quite simply, take up the first stage, it fires. It's a really nice trigger. So we'll go through that again. So it's quite simply pull that away, lever all the way forwards, breech comes up, and then cocks everything. So while we've got this open now, you've got an aluminium cylinder piston running in the steel cylinder, and on the front of that you've got a plastic parachute style washer that sits on the front of the piston. All of this is steel. And the other clever thing you've got going on here, as well as having a very long lever to give you a good mechanical advantage, what you also get with these is a compounding link. So as you pull the lever back round, you're actually reducing that you're increasing that leverage. So this is one of these pistols that actually gives you a really good level of control. There's no feeling you're kind of running away from it or a massive amount of effort. So it's a really gentle closing. You're actually really controlling it. So having done that, what have you now got? Well, you've got the air compressed between the end of the parachute cup and the breech or the valve. So the valve, which was set when this lever lifted up. And that just means now that when the hammer is released by pulling the trigger, the hammer goes forwards, knocks open the valve, and that will release the air up through this hole, through the transfer port into the back of the pellet. So it really is a very simple system, very reliable, very robust. So that just locks down in place under that lever. So how does that actuate? Well, as you pull the piston forwards, just about to see it there, get the light on it, there's a lever there. So as the piston comes forwards, piston picks up on that lever, and that then is transferred via this bar to here, and you can see that pulls that forward, so you lifting the lever, and that's what's connecting it through to set the hammer, everything else. So a very good system, all on the outside, so you can really understand how it works. And it is probably, I think, one of the easiest single stroke pneumatic actions around, probably from any of them. And that in part is down to the mechanical advantage you get from the articulated link, partly just down to the length. But it's a cocking throw that you could do all day without really getting particularly overtired using it. So with all that, it's easy to use. It looks absolutely lovely to me. Is it accurate? Yeah, of course it's accurate. It's a 10-meter target pistol. That's 3 shots there. Those are me pulling it. That's nothing to do with the pistol. That's just me. But I haven't shot this pistol in probably 2 to 3 months. This is my first card. I picked it up, got it out of the box, charged it, shot it, first 5 shots, and there you are. And that just tells you this pistol works with, it certainly works with me. I enjoy it. I find the balance really good. So it's a very useful pistol to use. It's a very easy pistol to use. And yeah, the accuracy is there. I just need to do a bit more work with it. So production dates. So the original 46, the original model 46, which was shorter in the compression tube by about 30 millimeters, was from 1993 through to 96. And then the 46M, so with the added length in the compression tube, just to give you a bit more velocity, 96 onwards through to current. So this is a pistol that is still being made. You can't get it in pretty much anywhere other than Russia. So it is still being made, but not being exported. And that then comes on to the markings on this one. So Baikal, obviously, that's where it was made in Russia. Yeah, that's fine. But then what you get is an F and pentagram, and that is for the German market. That's the German low pressure marking to show that it's a low pressure air weapon, doesn't need licensing. So that's German. HWG is an import company. I can't find the name of it. If someone knows, please put it in the comments. And then DE for Germany. So I suspect what you've got here is that a German import company had imported these from Russia and then sold them on through. So MP is mechanical plant, Iveshkis, and that's why I didn't do it. Anyway, mechanical plant, MP, 46M for the model. And then with the serial number, the first 2 numbers there are actually a date code. So this pistol would be a 2020 pistol, which will make it one of the very last pistols to get out and be sold. So there was Air Venturi in America, which is, as I said, where we got the grips from. They were getting them out and having them badged or labelled up as Air Venturi, but still they were made by Baikal and then exported to America for sale on. And like I said, these grips were definitely arrived in a bag saying made in Russia by Baikal, so that's where they came from. They're a very nice grip, and they certainly add a bit to this pistol from the look. They're also far more comfortable than the standard grips, which, if you have them in beach, are perfectly fine, but they are absolutely designed to be carved about to make them fit, whereas these have already got a bit more of a profiling to them. So again, Air Venturi, they started importing them in 2020, and as far as I know, I think they have also stopped importing. So I think that's it now. Other things about this pistol, well, if you've ever owned a Lada car, you know the spare parts you got in the back of it to keep it running. Well, these pistols were pretty much the same. So, like I said, spare rear sight. Like I said, this one is then the smaller notches, which I used the one with the bigger one. Front sight elements, like I said, they are just pressed steel with a notch through them, like the fine work bow one. So very simple. A pin punch for knocking pins out, a multi-tool for adjusting pretty much everything else, and the washer, the cup washer at the end, so you can see the parachute design to it, and you can see it just simply slots over the end of the piston. And then also, probably most important to anyone who's got a 46M, is a couple of these little washers here, these little seals, and they're profiled, as you can see, and where they go is in to here. So these little seals sit in here, and the reason they're so important and so difficult to get off is if you charge the pistol and then leave the gate like that, the pistol will fire, and at that point the air is released, blows this transfer gate up and dislodges both seals, which will promptly disappear to another planet. So they don't tend to wear out, they tend to disappear, and getting new ones seems to be all but impossible, no spare parts available. A lot of people do say that a straightforward standard round O-ring will do the job. but I know other people are trying 3D printing of those seals. So that's just one thing to make sure. If you're using one of these, once you've cocked it with air, make sure that before you touch the trigger, it is you've got that loading gate locked back down in place. So other than that, I said I did get another trigger with it. So this is the original Baikal trigger. I did try this later more adjustable trigger, but to be honest, didn't really get on with it. For all its kind of limited ability in movement, you can move the trigger forwards and backwards. You just undo this screw here, you move the trigger forwards and backwards, and I actually find that a much nicer trigger to use. It's just got a bit of finesse about it, and it works very nicely. So a redundant piece, but setting the pistol up how I like it. So there you go, the Baikal 46M, or colloquially known as an Izzy, a stunningly lovely target pistol. Yeah, it's very much personal. These are Marmite. You either like them or you don't. They are absolutely, let's make a 10-meter target pistol, single stroke pneumatic. Does it have to look very nice? No. Does it work? Absolutely. So very, very much, yeah, a Marmite pistol, but they are a very good, reliable pistol. The sight radius is a good length, so you've got a very precise sighting. The sights are good. The power source is right. There's enough power to get a nice clean hole in paper. You're only shooting 10 meters after all. The trigger is very nice. An aftermarket grip, or if you manage to get yours shaped properly, is very nice. And that throw for the cocking link makes it a really easy pistol to load air into. And at the end of the day, it's single stroke pneumatic, so you're totally self-contained. So there you go, the Baikal 46M, a lovely pistol. If you ever get a chance to get one, and there are a lot of these around second hand now, so you won't be able to buy one new for a while, but second hand there's a lot about. Absolutely worth having a go. They're a lovely pistol to use. They're a really interesting design, and definitely worth getting hold of and having a go if you can. So if you've liked this, then please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, do all that other YouTube stuff. And otherwise, I'll see you again soon with another pistol. Thanks very much. Bye.